Welcome back, everybody, to the Oakland A's franchise on MLB The Show 23. We're continuing the Year 4 spring training. Today, we're going to wrap this up, set the 26-man roster, and figure out what our rotation and starting lineups look like going into Year 4, which is set to be the most exciting season of the series with the additions of Vladimir Guerrero, Luis Arraez, and the emergence of draft picks such as Aaron Don, and of course, Joe Michael. I did edit Michael to give him the sweeping curve instead of the slider. I thought that would just be a nicer addition and kind of builds off of the curveball he already had. So we'll get a look at his sweeper today. And then I've been mixing up this lineup a little bit. I want to see more ABs for guys like Logan Davidson and Zach Geloff as we look to cut this roster down to the best 26 that we can. One thing that caught my attention today, if we wanted to give Joe Michael the big long-term offer already without any major league experience, the value has gone up even further. A 10-year deal would now be looking at $184 million. I believe the last time I checked it was around $150. I'll be looking to make deals like that as long as we get a little playing time with these guys at first and then make those kinds of offers. Checking out the top prospects right now, Joe Michael actually comes in number 2 as they show a lot of love to the most recent draft class, already putting number 1 pick Vinny Gomez above him. Gomez was selected in last year's draft along with everybody else that's 18 years old here on this board. Now, we do have some new additions on the top prospect list. Edgar Gonzalez, who was our second pick last year, comes in, entering at 32nd, and Gregorio Uribe at 34th. Now, I've been meaning to do this for a little while, but I've actually done it now. Here is a little spreadsheet I'm putting together where I'm going to keep track of all of our draft classes so I can remember what round everybody was taken, what their potential was when they were drafted, and it's just easier to remember when exactly was Elliott Hughes taken. Oh yeah, second round in year 1. So I'll be updating this as we continue on. It'll be a nice resource for me. And this episode is going to play out very similarly to last episode. I really enjoyed doing the player lock games and then finishing some of them as we get into these tight games. It's still fun to try and win them even here in spring training. But Aaron Don has done a great job so far throughout spring training as he is definitely going to be a day 1 starter with numbers like this, hitting 300, couple homers on the spring training campaign. That was ugly. Ooh, the changeup gets him out in front, and now 1-2 from Lucas Giolito. Now finding himself on the Royals. Oh, it hits him right in the hip. It's also nice to do these player lock games and then get on base and see other guys get a chance to show what they can do. Susac way behind that fastball that didn't even clock in very high, but it's strike 3. And Logan Davidson is one player who I'm giving more at-bats to because I think the infield situation is a bit tricky for deciding who enters on the bench. Swiping second is Aaron Don. Davidson offers some good infield flexibility, though. I think he can play everything there outside of maybe one position. He can play first base. Not that that's all that necessary, but he has flexibility. Into shallow, well, deep short, I guess. It's out number 2. And Soderstrom. We already got him on the big contract, one of the first young building blocks we've added to this team. And he puts it in play, but right at second base, the inning comes to an end. 5th inning with Aaron Don. Just in front of that changeup. Got to sit back a little bit more. And now we sit back a little too far. Let's see if Don can recover 0-2. There's a miss. Down and in. And then gets one to hit. And it's softly flied out in right field. I do think Don's going to open his career playing in left field as he doesn't have a very strong arm. But I'd love for at some point him to move to center field. I'll be continuing to train his arm. I think that just his skill set is in place to where he's going to fill in the gaps and do well offensively. It doesn't need the extra help. But to really add some defensive value, that's a big priority for me in this series. Ooh, that's down the line. It's a fair ball. And a slow one, too, as soon as it touched down, allowing Don to reach second base. You know, he doesn't make the hardest contact, and maybe that's just the power at play. So a lot of the hits I've had with him have not been well struck, but you can make it work. And I'm excited to see, like, I think there's so much overlap with his offensive skill set and Luis Arraez. It'll be fun to see, like, those two playing perhaps, you know, back-to-back in the lineup at some point. I'm not going to have Don begin high in the order. He's going to have to earn that. But I feel like, you know, what's better than one Luis Arraez? Two. And we might have that chance. That's fly. They're keeping it easy on him here. Another reason why I want him in center is because he does have good speed and the range is very valuable. He's one of our faster outfielders. Top of the ninth, 2 down. And that one actually came off the bat a little bit harder. Yeah, at some point we want to get that power higher, but I don't feel like I need to train it quite yet. I feel like that's going to be something that develops a bit throughout his career. Maybe after a few seasons, it's more in the 50s and maybe even the 60s. And all of a sudden, you've got a guy who's kind of more of a well-rounded offensive player. But I do feel he's Major League ready right now to contribute. Another easy play with Perez hitting one softly to left. Oh, we're the ghost runner here in the 10th inning. I was really confused for a second. Daniel Susac. Jammed to the right side. Advancing Don. Robert Poisson. 2-2. Do not strike out. And he does. So it's Lawrence Butler trying to bring him home. Butler trying to make this 26-man roster. It's no guarantee. 3-2. And he walks. Nick Gordon not having the best spring, but not too worried about it. Especially, like, I'm not really evaluating veterans here in spring training. It's mostly the young guys, and that's knocked down to end the inning with a quick flip to second. Nicely done. They're not really doing a lot of pinch hitting now, so we're getting full game experiences. Samad Taylor, runner at second, and this one is belted in the air to left. And Don's going to keep the runner at second base. Well, we've already gotten 2 here in the 11th as Don will try to help add on. How long is it going to take before I hit a homer with Don? I've never done it at all. He's going to beat that out. I think this is the first time I've really noticed just like the exit velocities on Don are not very high. So it's something we're going to want to hopefully develop at some point. A's win this game, though. We haven't won too many games here in the spring, so that one does feel pretty good. Deshaun Knowles, a homer and a triple in this game. That's a great showing. By the way, the pitching has been really weird here in spring training. Like, Paul Blackbird's got a 15 ERA and Luis Medina's at 10. We're going to pitch with one of those struggling pitchers in this game. I gotta say, I like that hat for the White Sox. I don't think I've really seen that one a ton. But Luis Medina, last season I felt like was a good step in the right direction for him, although like a lot of the young players on this team, it started out really good, and then those last couple months kind of put his numbers in a bad spot, and now spring is off to a rough start. So, you know, I felt like going into this year, Medina was locked in as a 4 or 5 in this rotation. But is he going to be able to hold off the competition that's behind him? Guys like Elliott Hughes are rising up through this organization. Cam Cope. You've got Alfonso Montes. Guys who maybe not are, you know, like super close, but they're getting there. And that is not how we want to open the day, with a very uncompetitive walk to the leadoff man. Gonzalez aboard, and now hanging changeup that Benintendi waves at. There you go. Finally one that hit the target for once. 0-2. That's a good pitch. And that'll get the job done. Tap this one, and let's let Susak handle it. Breaking ball clips the outside corner as Medina gets ahead of Eloy Jimenez. And the slider on the ground to third base. Vladdy with the throw. I did get some good feedback in the comments on last video that when you have a player playing at a secondary position like Vladimir Guerrero, there is a little decline in their defensive ratings. I forget what the comment said exactly. 5 fielding and 5 accuracy. That makes more sense. So, yes, I do have Vladdy not playing at his best position. I'm okay taking that hit defensively right now just because it gets the 9 guys out there that I really want. When we're trying to be more competitive and competing for the playoffs, that's when you start to optimize those little edges. But right now, it's just all about getting the best 9 out there and to get guys playing time who need it. And I'd love to still get Soderstrom some reps at catcher because just his bat at the catching position offers so much value. Whereas he kind of just could be an above-average first baseman hitter. He could be a well above-average catcher if he can play that position, maintaining his offense that he's shown. But catcher is kind of a logjam right now. I like Susak, and Langoliers has some promise. I honestly think he's been pretty disappointing in this series. So I don't see him being a full-time catcher unless Susak really flames out and Langoliers doesn't take a step. And I'm kind of feeling like Langoliers might not take that step. Hammered out to right, Cronenworth into the Crone zone, and it's gone. Curveball dropped in there for strike 2. Trying to finish off this second. And he does with a 96-mile-per-hour fastball. Punched up the middle. Nice play by Sweeney. He lays out and can't get Gonzalez down the first base line. That was a nice job, though, by Sweeney. Good attempt. And now missing 3 in a row to Andrew Benintendi. Having trouble hitting that lower part of the zone. And he walks him. You know, there's a big difference in playing with a guy who's in a hot streak versus seeing what he's like when things cool off. Baseball's a very streaky game. And it's hard to get the same guy for 162 games. Doesn't happen often. Especially with players like we have that are young and still developing. He's falling behind Luis Robert. Could really use a grounder. And he's going to walk the bases loaded. And he's not keeping that changeup down at all. He's got confidence in it, but you're going to give up a grand slam throwing that again. Punch down the right field line. Turning foul at the last moment. 0-2. Doesn't have confidence in the fastball, which really concerns me. Popped up. Put it in a good spot. And he's going to run home with this. The throw is offline, and a run will score. Yeah, fastball is just all over the place right now. What do you do when your fastball isn't even hitting its spot? Throw a changeup, I guess? That's a nice pitch. Got the call on it. 2-2. Popped him up. Getting out of the jam. Allowing the 1. There we go. Getting the fastball to be productive again. Medina covering first. Makes the play. Rebuilding the confidence in that fastball. Ooh, I can't believe he swung at that. That was so late. I'm like, well, a 2-0 start again, and then he all of a sudden just, like, protects it like it's an 0-2 count. Now we're ahead of Montgomery. Curveball at 0 confidence. What's the worst that could happen? Wow, he almost went. And that's the time to try to get the confidence back, right? You're ahead 1-2 against the 8-hitter. It's then or never, right? And he walks him. What happened? We just had a good at-bat going. Fastball starting to be productive for us again. Sebi Zavala behind. And now can he get the strike? His fastball has been his best two-strike pitch, I feel. And now Susak trying to find it with the runner moving up to second base. And that's going to be a wild pitch now charged to Medina. Stick with the fastball, I guess. Let's see if we can get Gonzalez. He's reached in both of his trips so far. We're ahead 0-2. Changeup has not gotten the job done. We'll see. Slider inside once again. Got him that time. Punch to left field, and that one is caught by Aaron Dunn. Looking for a quick 1-2-3 fifth. Ooh, nearly clipped the edge there. I guess it did, but not enough to get the call. Robert hit hard foul. And now on the ground, Sweeney trying again. Got to it quick enough, and the inning comes to an end. Yeah, going to have to wash that jersey extra hard with those dives he's making at short. And then he's relieved by Joe Michael. And you bet I'm going to play with him here. So, you know, that was an up-and-down outing for Luis Medina. Got to reestablish the fastball after losing confidence in that. That was good to see. And overall, 2 runs in 5 innings is nothing we're going to panic about. I'm just hoping he can continue to make progress this year. The team desperately needs it. So we've given Joe Michael a brand new pitch. Here is the sweeper. Come on now. Fly ball in the air to right. Caught by Gordon. Michael's spring has gone significantly better than last year, where everything was hit hard. The home runs were a bit of an issue. I think a lot has changed for him in a year's time. Ooh, that's the sweeper lefty-lefty. Nearly impossible to do anything with. 1-2. Got him at 99. We pitch around Ahmed Rosario, knowing we have the lefty-lefty on deck. And on one pitch, what the heck was that? Sweeney, not in time. And Soderstrom now fumbles it, and Michael is ready for that. What a heads-up play. See, he can take that unassisted if he makes the play cleanly, but he didn't, and Michael was prepared. All right, let's do a little hitting now. We got Daniel Susak facing Reynaldo Lopez. Doesn't seem that Susak's had a great spring at the plate. Started off his major league career very hot and then cooled off big time in September. That was swung right through. Yeah, that was a hole in the bat situation right there. 1-1. Nice slider. Again. All right, that brings up Josh Baez, somebody else that I'm hoping can take over a good role this season. Likely starting on the bench and getting a fair amount of playing time against left-handed pitching, as we do need to find some good right-handed bats. Again, I think that was pretty good timing. The plate vision here at 39 is a little concerning. Pretty sure that's what we're trying to train with him. Take better advantage of that contact. Wasn't quite ready for that fastball, and that's a pop-out. Looking to see if Joe Michael can pretty much go the rest of the way, which would make him eligible for a save if this lead holds. Sebi Zavala leads off here in the 7th. You know, I'm not quite sure what to do with a sweeping curve and a curveball, but I guess it's an extra 2-strike pitch option. And I have really liked the sweeper here in the first, 6 times throwing it. We're using the sweeper to set him up for a fastball 2 strikes. Kind of working in reverse here, but we're a little unconventional. 2-2, and that one is belted into center field. Zavala with a nice swing. Jake Berger. Down and in, sweeper clips it. So I kept the control and the break at 40 and 45 respectively. It's been pretty useful in this game. And now lined into center and down for another hit. Zavala's going to run to third base. And he's there. 2 in scoring position. I didn't even see him advance, and now he's going to score. 3 straight hits will put Chicago in front, with Michael getting into trouble. What is going on here in the 7th for Michael? 3 pretty well hit balls into center field. And now getting ahead of Cal Mitchell. Here's the sweeper. Almost dumped it down the line for a fair ball. And that one shot to Guerrero. And this throw is not played cleanly by Soderstrom. Still no outs here in the 7th. Error charged to Vladdy. And Chicago continues to empty their bench. That's going to be playable at least for Gordon. And wow, with 49 speed running on his arm. We've really got to build up the defense here in the outfield, man. I've had the Rockies franchise where we couldn't make that play, and I really want to find a couple outfielders that can play defense. Base hit right field. Another run will score. And it's turning into a disaster of an inning for Joe Michael. Wow, hit it hard, but a rise behind the back with Sweeney finishing off the inning. A stylish double play closes things out, but not until the damage is done by Chicago. And most of that was done with guys that were just taken off the bench. Check that play by Arise. That was unbelievable. All right, we're going to empty our bench now and see if we can do the same thing. Beginning with Logan Davidson, top of the 8th inning. Fouled back. That was a good pitch to hit. A little late on the timing. Down the line, and that one stays fair. All the way into the corner. Davidson with a double to open the 8th. Now we're going to bring in Kevin Smith. Pinch hitting him for Vladimir Guerrero. Soft fly ball into center field. Not one we're going to run on. Let's bring in Deshaun Knowles, who had the triple and the homer in the previous game. He is an outfield option, but he too does not have a very strong arm. But he's an intriguing hitter. 46 batting clutch though, 37 power. What can he do in this spot? That one is smashed over short. Extras for Knowles as a run will score. And we're going to try going 3. Back-to-back games with a triple for Deshaun Knowles. Great piece of hitting there. Just a good line drive swing that I thought was going to lead to a line out. And Trey Sweeney will try to tie this game at 5. There's the line out I thought we had in the last at-bat. So now it takes a hit, and it's Aaron Don at the plate. He'll stay out there for this AB. Batting clutch is at 54, and that hook's foul. So that's a rating we're going to have to, or no, it's 67 now that it's updated, which is a lot lower than his normal, like, 91 against righties. Don line drive, base hit left field. We do a nice job going the other way in this inning, and we've tied the game up. Jordan Lyles will enter now, and he's a home run waiting to happen. Don goes. Geloff swings and misses with Don safe at second base. A drive left field. Going back in the gap, and Geloff delivers. Extras off the wall. He's going to round second. What was that play at the wall? It is an RBI triple and our third run of the inning. What an offensive showcase here in this inning for us. Jordan Lyles, 2 strikes, throws a slider right down the middle. And Geloff hammers it. That was a contact swing. I usually go contact 0-2 with guys who aren't like top tier hitters. 6-5 Oakland. And a ground ball on to short. Susak is retired, but we get the job done, and we're going to give Michael a chance to protect a 1-run lead again. Let's see if he can bounce back from the previous inning. He faces Cronenworth. It's a 7-8-9 hitters. If he gives up an extra base hit or 2 base runners, though, I'm pulling him. Going the other way towards Don, who makes the play in left. That's a tough fastball high. Montgomery with the count 1-1. Sweeper is over. I've liked that pitch so far. Throw it again. 1-2. Missing away. And tapped it softly. Michael makes the play quick. Nailing the outside corner. That's what we like to see from Joe Michael. 1-2 on Zavala. And he offered. Try it again. Just high at 99. Tough pitch to lay off. We'll work that 2-seamer inside now. Missing again. I'm not throwing that curveball here. Are you kidding me? 3-2. Fastball chopped, and Smith was guarding the line, but does get the play made in time. Davidson started that rally for us in the 8th inning. He's up again. And this time, it's jammed into shallow center and run down by the shortstop. So let's go bottom 9. I have Victor Gonzalez set to get this save attempt. Last time I pitched with him didn't go well, so I wanted another go at it. David Hamilton leads things off for the White Sox. I have no scouting report for you on David Hamilton, but he's behind 0-2. And brings it back to even now. We'll try going away. Missing 3 straight. Quincy McAfee is on deck. Lifted for Sweeney, who makes the play on the grass. That's by him at 95. Another player I've never heard of, Quincy McAfee. That one is sent deep to center field. All the way back is Baez. He makes the catch. 1 more to go, and Dominic Fletcher falls behind 1-2. A tough lefty AB. Struck him out, and the A's win it with a great 8th inning comeback. 6-5. Ended up being a 3-inning outing for Joe Michael. He gives up 5 hits, a walk. Not his best showing there. But we've got a nice 5-game spring training win streak here, and we extend it to 6. Did Michael start this game or just get the win? He started the next day, goes 5 innings and 5 better innings. Nice job. I like to take some more swings in this game with Logan Davidson. He's one of those guys that hasn't developed as quickly or as cleanly as we would like. Why'd I swing at that pitch? Falling behind. I'd like a redo. All right, a second at bat now with a runner aboard. Ryan Murphy is the pitcher. And it's lifted out to left field, not hit very well. Well, they pinch hit Davidson after 3 nondescript at-bats, so here is Luis Arraez instead, hitting .297, and let's raise that a little bit. Why not? Lawrence Butler will hit now as he comes off the bench. Butler in the air, hit well to center, but this one is playable. Zach Geloff is hitting 246, only a 564 OPS. Not exactly what we want to see. It's really him and Davidson in a lot of this competition for that bench infielder. Geloff got his chance for much of last season. And now a bad swing by me is going to lead to a fielder's choice. I'm just intrigued right now with Deshaun Knowles. I mean, the numbers kind of speak for themselves right now, but I've got to see more. 2 down here in the 7th with a man on. Ooh, good slider, and it's chopped on to second base to finish off the 7th. Look who they left in the game for me with nobody warming up. It's Zach Jackson for a 2nd inning. The guy has been unstoppable here in the spring. And now he's ahead of Wisely here, 0-2. We're Wisely going to throw out of the zone. And now lifted for Bellinger playing right field. There is 1. That one is belted. Baez going back. He has room and makes the catch. Great slider to start this at-bat by Zach Jackson. Ooh, nearly hits him with the fastball. Maybe he needs to be taken out of this game here pretty soon, but his energy is in a nice spot. And that'll get the job done. Strike 3 looking. Really good stuff by Zach Jackson, as we'll get to hit again here in the top of the 8th inning. No bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Baez. Is he feeling any pressure from guys like Deshaun Knowles for a roster spot? I just feel like Baez is a bit more well-rounded, offers more defensively than a lot of these other guys. That was a very embarrassing miss on my part. 0-2. We've battled back 2-2. And not biting on those curveballs. 3 straight out of the zone. Got to mix up the game plan here, Jimmy. Wow, I screwed it up again. Maybe I'm not used to an 86 mile per hour curve. Maybe I'm thinking it'll be slower. I've gotten a lot of looks at it, though, already. And now a walk for Baez. Let's bring in Denzel Clark. The offense really hasn't been there for him here in spring training. But he'll get a chance anyway here in the 8th. Ooh, that one really fooled me. And now a drive into center field as Clark comes through with a base hit. Robert Poisson is going to come off the bench now, and he's done a really nice job. He is one of our best, extra infielders at this stage. But I think he has more of a likely starting future, and he's also very young. So even if he's better than some of these guys right now, I feel like I don't know if I want him to just hit occasionally on the bench or continue honing in his defense at AAA. Because I do think that if we're patient, he's going to be a starter for us. But you think about where. Because now it looks like second and short are kind of taken care of for the time being with Arise and Sweeney. We'll see. He might have a chance to make this 26-man this season. Wow. Jimmy has given me some to hit, and I'm behind all of it. 3-2 with nobody out and 2 aboard. And he walked him, loading the bases for Aaron Don, who's already gone yard in this game, hitting .318, one of our top performers here in spring training. Bases loaded. What do? Down and away. Up and away now, and Don is in a prime opportunity. Bases juice, nobody out. Jimmy's got to throw him something. And it's belted in the air left center field. And we're going to get a run out of it. We'll bluff to third base. 4-2. Susak trying to continue the fun. Oh my, that curveball had me fooled badly. 2 down now, and it's Luis Arraez with 2 aboard. The only reason I'm keeping him in is because I haven't had a chance to hit with him much, so I want to build up the reps. And it's a base hit left field. Wave him home. Throw coming in, up the line, and he's safe at home. I just felt like Arraez was going to get a hit. High in the air, deep to left center, and Butler delivers. Why did everybody stop running? I thought I fixed that. It's an RBI double. And Geloff pounds a curveball into the ground to finish off the 8th inning. Nice job again getting these runs late. This has been a lot of fun today. Landon Sims is going to get just his 2nd appearance. You know, if you don't mix up the rotation and where everybody's listed, certain guys don't get very many innings. And Sims was on the big league roster for all of last year, so I'd like to get him a little more action here to see if he's going to make it for a 2nd season. I feel like we've got some guys that are going to start pushing to join the bullpen as this is lifted out to right field over Clark's head, but it's going to be a long single. Henry Vasquez is the name to keep in the back of your mind as he is only 19 years old. Dominated last year. It was phenomenal. I consider calling him up in September as the very first drafted player to debut in the series. I was so close to doing it, but held off. It'll probably happen this year, though, unless he just completely falls apart at AAA to open the season. I almost put him on the 40 for this for spring training, but that would mean waiving somebody that I didn't necessarily want to waive. Moncada line to right, and the first 2 reach here in the 9th. Wouldn't be fun without a little drama, would it? Facing some big league hitters, it was Moncada and now Travis d'Arnaud. d'Arnaud base hit center field. And they will not run on the arm of Josh Baez, but the tying run is now at the plate. Big trouble here for Landon Sims. And it's popped up. Butler trying to get there, and he does. I don't know why Susak felt like he wasn't going to go after that one. And literally in 2 pitches, we have fixed... Nope. Not a quick enough turn. Sims suddenly a strike away, facing Carson Kelly. And that'll do it. Strike 3, A's win again. That's, I believe, 6 of our last 7 games. Nice start in this one for Mitch Keller as Don goes yard, Arraez goes 2 for 2. That'll get him back into the 300s average-wise. Few more games to play. Joe Michael is now going to make his last start of spring training. So let's, again, get a chance to play with him. And so far, he's done nothing to suggest he won't make the 26-man roster. It looks like a done deal at this point. The debut of Michael is coming. Dansby Swanson leads off as we get underway. Hoping for a solid close, as that one appearance we had today didn't go all that well. Gave up 3 runs in 1 inning. A very confusing inning. Dansby leading off for the Cubs, and the fastball clips the outside edge. Let's see, what are we going to count on as those 2 strike pitches? 1, 2. Sweeper! Couldn't be thrown any better than that one. And now blowing the fastball by Seiya Suzuki. 1 and 2, and we're going back to the sweeper. Oh my! This pitch is money! Again, I gave him just the, the 45 control and 40 break, whatever. And it's already becoming one of my favorite pitches to throw with him. The changeup, man, if he can get the changeup better too and have a devastating fastball changeup combo to go with that sweeper, let's go. Hey, it's a different game now when you're pitching to Shohei Ohtani. Top of the second inning. Fastball by him. But now he misses the next two. What's the pitch we throw to get this count evened up? Change up away. Nice job. Good pitch, and we're going back to that sweeper. 2-2 from Michael. He did not go. 3-2 on the ground and through the infield. Base hit Shohei. Tyler O'Neill will hit now. He's gone from the Cardinals to the Cubs. I feel like a lot of the guys who leave their teams in this series end up going to division rivals. All right. None of those are going to work, apparently. And now we have this count full. Going back to the fastball, and he fouls it off. About to be the 9th pitch here to Tyler O'Neill. And now it's going to need 10. 11. 12. And it's in play. Diving stop. Got one at least. That took forever. Just randomly, certain at-bats. A guy just will not get out or put it in play. That's hardly an issue, though, with Joe Michael because he's got the stamina to where pitch count is never going to be the conversation. It's just, can they hit or can they not? And that's going to be a really fun aspect of this series. 1-2. Sweeper. All right, do not throw it up there. That's where the danger is going to show up. Gurriel taps it, and Susac, you can take care of that one. Two strikes on Matt Mervis. Lefty, lefty. I think it's sweeper time. And that's hit softly. Michael covers. One down. Sweeper at the bottom of the zone. I did not expect to have a lot of success with that pitch here. I made it statistically like a pitch that needs some work. Lifted out to left field. Caratini sends it out. Solo homer. That was a two-seamer that was in a very nice spot to turn on. Like right there. But Dansby Swanson will punch this one the other way. That's hit pretty hard into left field. And another hit for the Cubs. Their third here in the third. Oh, Shohei Ohtani. 2-1, 2 down, and back up the middle. They're going to wave home the runner, and that's the second run of the inning. Feels like with Michael, when it rains, it pours. Some of these innings just really get out of control for him. Got to get better at limiting damage in these situations. Sweeper gets the job done again. 2 strikes on Tyler O'Neill. Struck him out. But now how does he bounce back after that? Wisdom on the ground to third base where Geloff makes the play. 2-2 count to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Jammed into right and in for a hit. That was just the regular old curveball that time, and a pretty good one. 0-2 on Mervis. And struck him out looking. Caratini took him yard last time. You got to give him that one. Fouled off, and now Michael looking at a 1-2 count. Let's stick to the heat. Missed inside. Got him that time to ground to third base. A better fourth inning. Ooh, the curveball got a nice swing way out in front. The 0-2, just off the inside corner. The 2-2, got him looking at 99. Suzuki hits it softly in the air to left field. And the curveball gets a jammed fly into right that just drops in like the hit he gave up in the 4th inning. So at least, we're not seeing all the hard contacts. Some of these are kind of unlucky, and that'll kind of balance itself out if the exit velos remain low. By Ohtani at 98, and he's ahead. No more throwing in the zone. Got him with the fastball. Michael, after giving up 2 in the 3rd, has bounced back nicely, but that is going to be it. Just 5 innings. We'll take this into the 8th inning, and we have Ken Waldichuk in the game. Right now, the rotation looks like it's going to be Soroka, Blackburn, Mitch Keller, Joe Michael, and Luis Medina. Where does that leave Ken Waldichuk? A guy who we've, I think, already sent down a couple times. I'm not sure how many options he would even have remaining. And I should, take note of who has all their options used up. Because if there are guys who don't have any left, there could be some trades at the end of this episode. Lifted for Don. Over a few steps for out number 2. Nice slider to Mervis, catching the outside corner. 2-2. Kenny strikes him out. Let's see if we can get some runs now. The rallies have done really well so far in this episode. Davidson fouled it back. That was my best swing with him all day. And that one is pretty good too, but it lines out to short. Kenny Waldichuk strikes out Victor Caratini to start off the 9th inning. And Swanson can't get it by Davidson. He is out. Kevin Alcantara will hit. Pinch hitting. Been 5 really good outs so far for Waldichuk. And grounded softly with Sweeney at short. A 1-2-3 ninth. All right, let's hit. Jordan Romano is on the Cubs. When did that happen? I would like to bring in... Let's hit Lawrence Butler here. I keep pinch hitting him because I've got to make a decision. And he's hitting pretty well so far. What's the sample size? 3 hits. So he hasn't had too many at-bats. But it started the turnaround. I had a good hit with him earlier on a perfect swing. Leads off here against Romano. And Romano falls behind. It's 3-1. He's thrown 3 fastballs so far. Or 3 in a row. Or 3 of the 4, my bad. I kind of like that one. 3-2. One of the best closers in the game, Jordan Romano. Misses low to Butler. Now Baez is going to get a chance to continue our comeback efforts. And he fouled back the slider. We've had some really good pitches to hit in these last 2 innings. I guess that was late. This one is hammered to center field. But it's going to be playable for out number 1. Deshaun Knowles has 2 hits in this game and another extra base hit. Deshaun Knowles really making a case right now. He can strengthen it here, but pops up just late. Romano hit 99, and it's out number 2. That's going to leave the game up to Trey Sweeney, representing the tying run. And it's in the air, left field. Why am I continuing to be just late? It doesn't feel just late at all. It feels like pretty good timing. But the Cubs will win 3-1. We have just one game left to go in the spring, and I think I'd like to do a player lock game with Deshaun Knowles. He's done a really nice job here in spring training. He's a player that I think has a legitimate chance to develop into a starter potentially. He has good contact and vision. The defense, it needs some work, but I think it's close enough. And then, power is something to work on. Needs to work on discipline and clutch. But I've been excited to see him play well here in the spring. He's a switch hitter, which we don't have many of those on the roster, and it's something I wanted to get. I've had most of the at-bats with him as a lefty, and now facing a pretty good pitcher in Luis Castillo, as we get the spring training finale underway. And popped him up. I don't know why I continue to be just late with all these swings. Might be testing his arm here in left field or right field. And the throw comes in on one hop, and he did not get him in time. Chop to the right side, and the play is made unassisted. I wish they wouldn't pinch hit for him here. I wanted a few at-bats. Yeah, I'll get one more AB in with Luis Arraez. He missed it? That was a good swing. Arraez can miss. And that one finds its way through. Base hit Arraez. Sweeney with a drive into center field. But this one's going to be playable. How about Aaron Don's spring training performance? 5 home runs, 13 RBIs. I think he is more than ready at this point. 1 on and 1 down. Uh-oh. I'm too excited to hit with him here, and probably the last time I will in the spring. And it's bounced over to second, behind the back, and not in time at first base. Gotta have him take off here. Trying to get into scoring position. Don takes off. That's away, and Don slides head first in easily. So now you got him a base hit from scoring, and the 2-0 count for Daniel Susac. Oh boy. Lined into center, right at the center fielder. Inning over. Top of the 8th inning, and Logan Davidson will lead things off. He's already sparked 1 rally in this episode. Ooh, tried to turn on that one, but just a bit ahead of it. That was 99 off the bat. And now going the other way. Lifted and playable. We'll pitch with Luis Medina here, bottom of the 8th inning. Wanted to see if we could get some quality innings with him and bring those numbers back down to earth. Gene Segura is the batter. And now bringing the count full. 3-2 to the leadoff man. Just missed low. Cordero is the batter now, and Medina gets ahead of him. 0-2. Nice curveball on the ground to Sweeney, but hit so softly he only had 1 play. And now he's fallen behind John Birdie. Goes from like an ugly start to an at-bat to an excellent one, and then getting in trouble again. 3-2. Got him to ground it softly again. Sweeney makes the play in time. Really like his fastball, though. 0-2. On the ground, keeping Sweeney busy. He recovers and can't make the play, and that's an error. There are going to be some growing pains, of course, as he's going to be in his first year starting there at short. Runners at the corners now as the Mariners try to make us pay. Another good fastball. Just off the corner with the fastball, and the count is full. Runner at first leaves, and that is hammered foul. Belted to center, and we will pay for the error and then some. Wanted to cut that one off, but now two are going to score, and it's a 4-1 ball game. Struck him out to finish off the 8th. Got pretty unlucky there with the error extending things, and of course, the next guy has a base hit to center field. So, final inning here, it looks like, of spring training, unless we can get 3. Andres Munoz is the pitcher. Seth Brown leads things off. Fouled back. Come on, I want to finish here with at least one really good hit. Strike 3. Fly ball center field from Denzel Clark. And spring training has come to an end. Not the exciting end I was hoping for, but we're all wrapped up and prepped for year 4. But we've still got to set this 26-man roster. Overall, we finished 11-16 in the spring. As a team, we had the 20th batting average, which is a lot better than what we're used to. We had the 19th highest scoring offense, 23rd in homers, and we're 22nd in on-base percentage. But we allowed the most hits with our pitching staff and the 3rd most runs. Here were the team leaders, with Aaron Don having 25 hits and Luis Arraez 23. Don tied for the lead in home runs with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. If he brings power to the table this year, it's going to be so exciting. For batting average, though, not as many at-bats for Butler and Langoliers, so Arraez really had the best batting average and the best... Oh, no, Vladdy had higher on base than him. But with Guerrero, Arraez, and Don, can those 3 be really good on-base players for us this year? We really haven't had great on-base options in this series. I want to see what kind of an impact we get from Don early on. A lot of doubles here from Soderstrom and Susac. 3 triples for Gordon, 2 for Knowles, and 2 for Don. Soderstrom, Don, and Susac led us in WAR. Langoliers also had 1.0. Seth Brown struggled. Connor Capel, Nick Gordon. Guerrero actually a minus 0.4 despite good offensive numbers. For ISO, Butler, Langoliers, then Don, Bellinger, Guerrero, and Deshaun Knowles impressed. For the pitching, I felt like one of our better options here in the spring was Joe Michael. So he is going to be in that big league rotation when we get underway. But Zach Jackson was very good. Jonathan Hernandez, Alex Reyes, and Griffin Jacks. Paul Blackburn, Kyle Muller, Landon Sims, they were not as good. And Luis Medina also struggled. 6 home runs allowed is very high, and that was also the issue for Blackburn. So these pitchers will make up our rotation to get the season underway, and I haven't decided yet. I'll look at the matchups and see if I want Michael to be the 4 or 5. But we've got to make some cuts to get this season started, and we'll begin at pitcher. Ryan Cusick. We've used up 2 of his options already, and now the 3rd as he's sent down. JT Ginn will go to AAA. Gunnar Hoagland. We're going to send down Landon Sims, as I'm having a tough time cutting down this roster, and some guys don't have options right now. He's likely going to be coming back up at some point, but Mason Miller is going to open at AAA, which uses up his final option. And that gets our pitchers down to 5 starters and 8 relievers, with Waldachuk and Muller in more long relief roles, along with Jonathan Hernandez, who has higher stamina than a lot of our other options. Victor Gonzalez is still the top setup man. Alex Reyes, though, will also get a lot of those, hopefully those high leverage innings, but the second setup role is not a good one to fill unless you don't want a guy to play. So this ideally is how I'd like to prioritize it, with Reyes coming out before Jackson in most cases, and then Griffin Jacks. But now it gets a lot trickier to sort out who makes the big league roster at other positions. Jeremy Ironman is going to go down to AAA. Kevin Smith is out of options, and we're going to try to pass him through waivers. Denzel Clark will go down to AAA. Kyle Farmer is going down as well. Robert Passan is going to start at AAA as I want to see his defense continue to develop. He still has 2 more options. Something I missed happening, by the way, in the offseason was Teoscar Hernandez did end up staying with the Yankees, ended up signing a deal for about $14-ish million for 2 years. We're going to use the final option now for Connor Capel. 3 to go. Deshaun Knowles is not going to make it now, but we're going to spend his first option, and I do feel really good about his future. We're going to use the final option as well for Logan Davidson. Just really waiting for something else on offense to stand out. I want to see if we can have Geloff continue to build upon what he showed last year. He hit .251 with a .295 on-base percentage. Hoping to see a bit more power this time around. And I think we're finally going to make a trade today. We're going to be trading Lawrence Butler for George Williams, a starting pitcher prospect from the Orioles. The Orioles could actually use Butler as their outfield situation has not been very good at this point. So I'm ready to move on from Butler. We have some other players that I'm trying to bring up. And that deal is going to help us get down to a 26-man roster. This leaves Zach Geloff, Josh Baez, Shea Langoliers, and Daryl Ernaiz as our bench players. Ernaiz is the only guy who can really back up at short, and he plays excellent defense, so he's a good substitute there, and I'd still like to have him on the big league squad. Geloff is back to see if he can build upon last year, and then Josh Baez, I really want to see him take a step, and I like that he has a strong arm. We definitely need that in the outfield. But that is the team we're going to take into the brand new season, kicking off next episode. Let's get on and see who the debut will be against. The Detroit Tigers. And then we get the Minnesota Twins immediately after. So it's Michael Soroka against Tariq Skubal as we get this season underway. And I'm looking forward to it. I think we got ourselves an interesting team, and with all the youth, who knows what is on the way for our A's. But that is going to do it for this one, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave your thoughts down below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you when Year 4 kicks off next time. Have a great day.